Have you ever missed something or missed an opportunity because of impatience? In today's daily, we are talking about the fruit of the Spirit. And the scripture says in Galatians 5, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance. Other translation use the word long-suffering, which really is the same word as patience. We live in a society where everything is high-paced, fast-paced. In fact, the more we live on this earth and the more developed we become, the more in a hurry we seem to want things. Either it is things we want delivered, or we want a service that we need. And so patience is really a virtue that all of us must allow the Holy Spirit to develop in us. Because we live in a world where everything is fast. Think about it. How quickly can you cook with your microwave? How fast can you get delivery? In fact, I was just thinking about it right now before I started recording, that we are actually wanting faster internet. How fast is the internet that you desire? The day you have 100 Mbps, you probably will want 200. Then you get to 200, you want 400. What am I trying to say? We're living at a time where the virtue of patience is very little in our lives. And the scripture says this is something that we must have so that we may display, or our character must develop to the point that we have to be patient. Listen, you have to be patient with your husband. You have to be patient with your children. You have to be patient with your workmates. You have to be patient with the shopkeeper. I mean, everybody around you needs a dose of patience from you. That's why the scripture says, this is the fruit of the Spirit. It is forbearance. I want to define for you that word patient. I looked at it this morning, and it's actually a Greek word that means, that is actually called makrothumia. And that word means, listen carefully, it means to put off wrath. Because whenever I'm impatient with somebody, guess what begins to grow in me? Anger. Every time you try and download something and it starts doing for you, guess what's happening? It's actually, when it can easily become a frustration, and it can easily become wrath. You can be angry at someone because they didn't deliver on time. You can be angry at your spouse, angry at your children because something never happened on time. The scripture says long suffering actually means to put away that wrath. That tempting wrath that wants to overcome you. It means that you must have patience with people. Long suffering actually is a direct consequence of loving people. Listen to what it says in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 1 and 2. Listen, it says, walk worthy of your vocation, wherewith you are called, with all lowliness, meekness, with long suffering. I love the next word. It says forbearing with one another in love. That means whenever I have patience, whenever I demonstrate forbearing with someone, I'm actually demonstrating agape love to that person. It means I'm actually demonstrating the character of Christ whenever I am patient with someone. But even better, whenever you're impatient, you actually are setting yourself up to miss God's blessing. I was reading earlier from the book of 1 Samuel, and the book of 1 Samuel records a very sad incident where the king of Israel, by the name of Saul, was actually about to go to war with the Philistines. And the prophet Samuel had actually told him, in 1 Samuel, had told him, just wait until I come, then I can offer a burnt offering to the Lord, then we will have victory against the enemy. But the scripture says that Saul waited for 7 days at Gilgal, and Samuel never showed up. Samuel was delayed, and so Saul's men began to scatter. The army of Saul began to scatter. And so he decided as king that he was going to do the burnt offering in place of the priest of the day. And the scripture says he ordered his soldier and said, bring me the burnt offering, verse 10. And Saul offered the burnt offering to the Lord. And just when he finished making the offering, Samuel the prophet arrived. And Samuel asked him, Samuel arrived and Saul went out to greet him. And Samuel asked him, what have you done? Samuel asked him. Saul replied, when I saw that the men were scattering, and that you had not come at the set time, and that the Philistine army was assembling at Michmash, ready to attack us, I thought to myself, now that the Philistines are about to come down against me, and I haven't sought the Lord, so I felt compelled to go ahead and offer the burnt offering. Listen to the judgment that came upon him. The scripture says, Samuel replied to him, you have done a foolish thing. He says, you have not kept the command of the Lord that the Lord gave you. If you had, he would have established your kingdom over Israel for all time. Samuel then told him, but now your kingdom will not endure. And the Lord has sought a man after his own heart and appointed him to be ruler over his people, because you have not kept the Lord's command. I thought about that and I realized King Saul lost the entire kingdom simply because he was impatient. He should have just waited one more day and the prophet would have arrived. I was so challenged. I thought to myself, Lord, may I develop this fruit. May I allow the Holy Spirit to continue watering me so that I may develop the fruit of patience. I know this is a tough one, but we must be patient with one another. We must be patient with life. Listen, it's not the end of the world if something delays by a few hours. You could actually miss the blessing of God. Have a great day.